Now, I don't think anybody will be in yet. I wanted to have a little chat. This is just a muse. Sorry to do another live show at short notice. And I don't think anyone's in. If anyone comes into this, say hello so I know you're watching. I want to talk about something that is fairly important, I think, anyway. And so there's a few people in, and I say sorry to do another live show. This is something that's come up. Byron, I'm good. Jan, Ruby, we have. Let's just let a few people come in. There's 9 people in already, so that's nice. This was an impromptu. And I don't even know what time it is around the world, so good afternoon. Yes, it's good afternoon for us. It's a bit of an impromptu. I want to talk about reviews and the reviews I've done on my channel and what I've just been doing, and whether or not they should be honest. And I put the thing, duh, of course they should be honest. That's the whole idea of YouTube. I've just been reviewing something and it's super disappointed me. And the problem is, hi Brody, hi everybody. Michelle's just going to turn on. We've literally just finished doing a review of something, and I lost my temper a little bit because I feel a little bit, what's the word, obliged. A company has sent me something again, and please feel free to send me stuff. I know it's lucky. And we're actually talking about doing a free giveaway in this review, because I do feel a bit blessed that we're sent this stuff to review. But during the actual review, I lost my cool a little bit. It probably won't come across. I lost my cool a little bit because I didn't like the product. I really didn't like the product. And I didn't feel like, even though it was given to me, I feel like I've got to be honest about it, and I want to know what you guys think. Should I just not bother to review it? I mean, that's an option. I could just not bother. I'm not going to probably mention the brand, although I might do a little bit later on, because you are the people that I'm out there trying to feel for. When I get a product in, if anyone asks anything, Michelle, just let me know if somebody wants to say it, but I really want to get some feedback on this. When I get a product sent to me, I'm blessed. I'm grateful of it. I mean, there are only so many mixers and blenders you can use in a kitchen, so they aren't physically monetary of any great value to me. But it's nice to be sent something. The problem is, when it doesn't come up to expectations, should you just sort of be polite about it and come on and tell you wonderful subscribers out there what a wonderful product this is, when it isn't? It isn't. And I think you know my answer, really. I mean, I unboxed something today. Oh, I've got a little seed stuck. You know, the raspberries. Michelle loves raspberries and smoothies. I find the seeds get everywhere. I unboxed a product today, which I was sent and I was grateful for. And on my initial looks, I'm thinking, oh, this is nice. And then I started to use it, and I thought, this is just no good. I mean, not only that, it's expensive. This is a 500 Australian dollar blender. It's a blender, all right. It's another blender. One of the you know I'm a big fan of Breville. I've made no. They don't pay me to say that, by the way. I guess I have a little bit of a thing because they're Australian, but they do produce good stuff. Another very well-known company sent me their blender, and it's an expensive blender. It's plastered with Union Jacks all over it. It's got a mention that it's British and blah blah blah, as if it's some sort of Rolls Royce, which it is not. It's made in China, and it's not for many years been a British company. It was taken over by an Italian company several years ago, so that gives you some clues. I'll show you. Look, here is my stuffer for my blender. It's like a old billy, one of these billy clubs that the police use. Solid thing. And here's the one that came with it. Okay, I forgive that. I forgive the fact that it's a hollow piece of plastic, but I don't forgive that it's quite a few $100s. It feels tinny. It's not, I mean, realistically. So anyway, I just wanted to say, to vent a little bit, because I said to Michelle, can I be honest about this? Because I can't say to people, this is a lovely blender and I think you know, thank you for sending it to me. I can't do that. I just can't do it. What are the comments coming through?
No Life says, what's wrong with it? A blender is a blender as far as I'm concerned. Either it works or it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's not true. It's not true. A blender is a blender. Sorry, with respect, it's not true. A blender is a blender. It either works or it doesn't is a perfect statement. A blender that works can cost as little as $100, maybe even 100, 200 bucks. A blender that works very well may cost you a couple of $100. How do I say this? Because this is all impromptu. A blender that costs $500 or $600 has no excuse not to work well. You know, once you start to say I'm going to charge over $150, which is what a home brand blender would cost, a cheapy sort of Kmart or some of our cheaper blenders, and they probably still work. They work fine. The engines will be, the motors will be fairly simple. There'll be brush motors, a bit noisy, and the likes. But when you get over the sort of $300, $400, $500 mark, it better work. You know, it better work. And it not only should work, it should work well. So I selected the blender that I use for my show based on a lot of research, and I like it. There are other blenders out there that are equally as good. I accept that. But this blender that I was sent is up there in that price league, but it feels like a $100 blender. and I didn't ask for this thing to be sent to me. And I feel embarrassed really, because how do you, I can't knock it. Maybe I just shouldn't review it. What do you think, guys? Should I just not review it? Would that be the polite thing to do? I'm tempted to just follow the polite road and just not review it.
Ruby Slipper says the Wolf Pit reviews all the time and he's brutally honest. The company should be open to criticism as they are adults.
They are adults, but corporations and companies in diapers and that spit their dummies out very frequently. And
need reviews to correct the flaws, she says.
Well, I feel that also. I feel we should just be honest and say, look, if you're going to charge $500 for a blender, make sure that it feels sturdy. Make sure that the plastics are good quality. Don't call them good quality when they're not good quality. Don't put Union Jacks on the bottom side because maybe it's in my mind the Union Jack has often been used alongside sort of quality. They used to be, and this is in a bygone era really, but you know, Rolls-Royce, Jaguar, they used the Union Jack. So when this company, who is an Italian company by the way, not a British company, although they do have their head office I think in the UK, use the Union Jack and they stamp on the bottom that it's British design, made in China. But the British design bit's bigger than the made in China. They are trying to associate themselves with quality. But I've noticed this company, a company that's dear in my heart actually, because they've always made fantastic products in the past, have started to make some pretty damned awful products over the past 6, 7, 8 years or so, and the quality has just dropped time and time again. So anyway, hello everybody, how are you? I'm not just gonna rant. Here's my smoothie. So it's a blender, all right. It's another blender. I don't want to really overly review blenders. Let me put my glasses on so I can see some of the comments flying by. Hey Ed, how are you? Ed, I reckon you'd agree with me. Should we just give a blunt and honest review of this thing, or shall I just not review it? I certainly can't say it's lovely when it ain't. It ain't lovely. If it was a $150 blender and it came from somewhere like Lidl, which I'd expect to be pretty basic, then I'd happily give it a review. Blunt and honest, Ed, yes. Ed's a good Aussie. He'd be blunt and honest. I know he would.
Stephanie says, honesty is good. You should review it. There are ways to be polite about saying something negative.
Oh, I know. I lost my temper a little bit because I felt like I'd been cornered by the company. They sent it out to me, and I felt like I'd been a little bit cornered, and I had to be nice about it. And probably I don't really. I don't have that obligation. Nothing wrong with it. It's as the earlier comment said, it either blends or it doesn't. It does blend. It doesn't blend well. The same stuff, actually a simpler version of what I would put in my normal blender, which is about the same price, would be no problems at all. Would have gone without tamping it down. Would have blended this thing. It just didn't want to blend it. And look, that's common with a lot of blenders, but not with a $550 blender. Not with a $550. Don't come out here with your Cartier watch and your high heel shoes by Armani and sort of step up the catwalk looking like you're all bling, and underneath you're just like a 1970s larder, because that's what this thing is like. It's a cheap Chinese blender dressed up to look like it's got bling. Sorry, am I being rude now?
Jan A says, a less than honest review won't help anyone. And Ismat says, I guess you review and be honest. Ruby says, how about reviewing the plus and negative parts? It holds liquid.
It holds liquid. That's the problem, Ruby. I think I'm probably, I know that they claim this thing to be possibly the top in their range, and this is a multinational company. This is a company that's look, this is a live show, right? They're not going to be watching this. This is a Kenwood blender, all right? So the word's out there. This isn't a small company. This is a company that I've always been very passionate about. They're good quality, but for $500, I know that's a little bit cheaper in the US. I'd expect this to be well built. I'd expect for the jug to be solid. I'd expect this not to just be like a kid's plastic hollowed out toy. This kind of costs more than about. You could buy something like this in a dollar shop for 50 cents, honestly, and it would probably be something for another purpose, but you could certainly have that made for under $1.
No Life says, if you give them a bad review, don't expect them to send you another kitchen appliance again.
I don't care. I don't care whether people send me appliances. I really don't. And that's the. It should be glass, Ed. Even to be honest, it doesn't matter what these companies say. And this is the same with food processors. It's the same with my current blender. They all say, oh, it's made of titanium plastic. It's made of space age plastic. They all scratch. They all scratch. And my glass jug that I had, my previous Breville that I had, the Hemisphere, was solid glass. And I tell you, you could put gravel in that thing and grind it up, rinse it out, and the glass would be as good as the day you purchased it. And I don't care what sort of space age plastics they profess to put on them, they all scratch. Anyway, that's my how everybody apart from that. I'll probably do the review. It might be in a week or so. I just wanted to get some feedback. I'm probably feeling a bit insecure and a little bit annoyed. Look, No Life 3, they're not crooks, but why did they send this to me? I suspect they want to get, they've sent it to other people as well, and I suspect maybe they did it with good faith, but yeah, they just put me in an awkward position. I rather buy my own products, and I know Kenwood won't send me another thing. I don't care if they haven't got the strength to take a knock. And I'll be honest, I reviewed something Kenwood 2 or 3 years ago, which was also appalling, and I mean it was appalling, and I did say it was appalling, and so they have subsequently sent me stuff, but unless they lift their game, this is YouTube. We're not subservient to these corporations. I know we are a little bit, maybe. No, we're not. We're not subservient to corporations, and I'm certainly never going to tell you that something's good when it isn't.
Stephanie says that company is probably expecting people to buy it because of the name and thinking that more money always means better quality. Your honest review can help people make a better decision.
Yeah, don't you get me started on Thermomix, VB Ed. Oh, a bloody... Ed, you get me swearing, man. It's a mixer with a... It's basically a pot with a blender in it. Don't you get me started on Thermomix, man. I am a massive... I've never understood the Thermomix idea, Ed, and I'm sure you're possibly going to tell me I'm wrong. By the way, many members of my family have Thermomix, and every time I look at it, it's just like a super expensive, I mean super expensive bowl with a mixing blade in it, and not only a mixing blade in it, a substandard mixing blade in it. And actually, haven't they recently, several of them have burnt up, and one poor lady got actually terrible burns from her Thermomix. Nobody is ever going to tell me that a pot that you can stand on top of a stove and mix something through on. I go round to, okay, full disclosure, go round to my sister's house and she'll say, oh, I've made this guacamole in the Thermomix. And I think, well, that could have taken 12 seconds to make with a whisk. There is no logic whatsoever in those machines. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. And if anybody ever came to me with a Thermomix and gave it to me, I would probably send it back return post. And I know I'm going to upset a lot of Thermomix owners. Go for it. I really don't care. I find the product, the concept of having a warming bowl with a set of blades in the bottom that turns round, that costs many thousands of dollars, and those people, they're pyramid sales systems, so they always work through pyramid sales.
Raggy's in.
Hey, Raggy. So, you know, they're designed on pyramids. They're super expensive, and at the end of the day, yeah, don't get me started on Thermomix. I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I just get a little frustrated when I go around to people's houses and they've got a Thermomix and they show me a cake they've made with a Thermomix, and I think, oh my God, I can make that same cake in a glass bowl with a $2 wooden stick, pop it into the oven and cook it. No, I'm not saying that's not great that you've got a Thermomix to do it, but at the end of the day, every single thing that product can do, I can do with a spoon and a whisk.
Jan said earlier on, if people buy it because of your recommendation and you're not honest, they're going to be disappointed.
Exactly, and when I recommend, I've got this coffee machine to review. I love it. I think it's great, and it's a little expensive, but I think it's great if you're a coffee lover, and I am going to review it shortly. And I'm happy to review products, but I think I've got to be honest about it. I'm glad some of you come in. I don't know what time it is where you all are, but
Matthew Anderson says, queue at 1,200 people sending Steve a Thermomix.
Nobody's going to send me a Thermomix, and if they do, if Thermomix send me a Thermomix, they're going to get a really blunt and honest review. I've got an incoming call. It's probably Kenwood. They're probably watching my show. Raggy.
So, No Life 3 said, where do you get that handsome vest over your shirt? I'd like to wear something like that.
This is what I was wearing for my review just now. This thing. Oh, I can't even. I'm not going to give you the model. Well, I've told you it's a Kenwood. And it's probably somebody. If you're ringing me and your friends and you know who I am, send me a message. If you want me to get off the internet because you think I'm burning my channel, I really don't care. I will always be honest with you people out there. I'm not gonna review a product and say it's good when it's absolutely pants. And Ed, have you got a Thermomix? Have I upset you? It makes a great cement mixer for those little small jobs you need around the garden. But do be careful with those, by the way. There was that one that And I think they brush it under the news as quickly as possible because it's a multi-million-dollar business. The one that burnt that lady exploded.
So Crayola D wants to know where your play button is.
My play button? I have got my play button now. When I came back to Australia, I saw it. I was like 150,000 before I'd even seen the play button. So thank you, you wonderful, wonderful people for getting that for me. But we were traveling. I was in Mexico when that came. It was almost a year before I saw it. It kind of lost a lot of its impetus. But yeah, sorry. Thank you. I'm not frustrated. I just said to Michelle, I think I should do a live stream and just ask everybody what they think. I'm glad I did. I'll read through all the comments and see what everybody's up to. But yeah, you can't put... This is what annoys me. Have a look at this. Look at that. You see that? Now that isn't there for no reason. That's there to imply its quality. And that's not a British company. That's an Italian company. Another DeLonghi bought this company many years ago, and they've taken all the manufacturing elsewhere to their own factories. And DeLonghi are another company that have their ups and downs. They took it all to foreign factories. They've employed a few people to design this stuff and pretend, and even on the bottom here it's written made in China, but right across the top it says designed in Hampshire in England. It doesn't matter whether it's designed. It doesn't matter where it's designed, and it doesn't matter if it's built in China, by the way. Some of the most fantastic stuff is built in China, but it does matter if it's built to a really low spec. You know how IKEA take a product, you know, IKEA will take a product like this and they take it to their engineers and they say, we need to know how to make this product as cheap as possible without losing its integrity. I want you to take as much of the weight off of it in the plastics and the manufacturing down to the point that it's almost unusable but not quite unusable. That's what this product is. They've basically torn this down to the point of being, and it should have been cheap as well. Should have been cheap. Ed, did you answer whether you got a Thermomix?
No.
Beautiful things they are. No, I'm not a big fan. Anyway, I probably won't stay on too long. Has it slowed down? Thank you, everybody. They didn't send me a $50, though it feels like it. Look, I know I got a little bit of flack because I was sent a free Breville blender, and it's an expensive blender. Got a bit of flack for that. But if they had sent me a blender and I started using it and thought it was rubbish, you'd have heard about it for sure. And actually, you're going to hear about this one. You are hearing about this one. I don't think I can. What is that? What is that?
He says, I got a cut to the chase. Can I cook rice without putting the cloth under the lid? Giggles and grins.
You cannot, Raggy, unless you've got a really tight... What you're trying to do there, Raggy, and Raggy's talking about my rice cooking evangelical video that I always do. I love the simplicity of cooking rice. Hey David, how are you? Hi Matt. Raggy, the cloth is there to create just that little bit of pressure, and it's tiny sort of bars of pressure that make the difference between the rice cooking. And if there's not a seal on that lid, it can mess up. So no, you can't. And I get so many comments. Actually, cooking rice is something that I get so many comments because some people come on, they're using the induction hobs, the electric hobs. We'll go into that another day. What am I cooking tonight? Well, I was going to do something in my new blender that somebody sent to me, but I am not now because I think the only thing I could blend in this thing is water. It's a pretty looking thing. Right, the temper's gone. The anger's gone. I've calmed down. It's always good to chat to you people and bring me back down to earth. There is a small chance I just won't review it. Hello, Leslie. Critter T's in there. Leslie, your balloon that you put on is blue on mine. Michelle says it's always red on her laptop, so I don't know why on the phone it comes over as blue. Hope you're good, sweetheart. All right, so there's 24 people in at the moment. I'm going to probably sign off unless you want to have a little chat. I've got nothing else going on. Oh, okay, another little thing. When I was, yeah, no life, that's a blue balloon.
Yeah, it's red.
It's red on Michelle's machine, so why is it blue on the thing? Another thing, I got that slight smell of burning. I was literally blending water in this, and I got that smell of burning. But that can often be just the machine oils burning off the motor. And also, when I went to get it out of the box, I'm trying to pull it out. I thought, wow, what's that? That doesn't feel. I know that's probably there to make it easy to clean. Oh, I mustn't bag on this thing too much. VB, are you still in there? Did Ed answer whether you've got a Thermomix?
No, he didn't. He went quiet.
Sitting on the fence. Sitting on the fence.
Oh, no misquoting into my valley. No misquoted.
Mesquite. Now, we were talking about mesquite just the other day with, there's a sweetener. If any of you are diabetic or you can't have sugar in your diet, I discovered gone. I'll talk about the Ninja in a moment. Is it all back on? Can you see me? So I think Raggy told me he had a Ninja. Not 100% sure. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, I don't need one. If they want to send me one to review. I'm back now. Raggy, is it you that had the Ninja? And I asked you what was a Ninja, and you said, yeah, he does. I'd happily, if Ninja want to send me one of theirs, but I'll be blatantly honest about it. Mesquite powder. This is what it looks like, Leslie, and it's made from the mesquite beans. They're like bean pods, and I think it originates in the USA or South America. It's a pod, and they have these great big sort of mesquite grinding. You'll see online they harvest the mesquite, and people bring them in from all the different farms, but this is amazing because it's a natural sweetener. I think much nicer than stevia. It comes up like a almost looks like flour, almost like a Durham flour, but the flavour, man, it's great. I'll just remind myself what it tastes like. It's really sweet, but almost like burnt molasses, like blackstrap molasses, getting towards a treacle. So you can imagine you're getting heaps and heaps of sweetness with no sugar, and I'm pretty sure it's safe, a great alternative for diabetics. So try some. How many carbs are in it? I'll get Michelle to have a little look at the packet and see if it's, otherwise she'll look online, but I'm not sure the carbohydrates. Its aftertaste is not like sugar, it is more like molasses, but like a dark, you know, if you've ever had blackstrap molasses or a treacle, maybe. It's a great sugar. If you're trying to add something into a dish that you want sweetness and you want those sort of dark, nutty sort of caramel flavours, that would be brilliant. I'm going to be experimenting with it over the next few months. And maybe towards the beginning of the year, if we find that it's safe and it's practical, we'll use it in some recipes. I'd love to use that in a Yorkshire parkin, which is a dark loaf that I often make. I think it would make a great parkin.
It's got 80 grams per 100 grams.
80 grams of carbohydrates per 100 grams.
So you can use that as a replacement for flour.
So it's more, we're still researching that one, Leslie, Criticine. Sorry about my bot telling me don't use capitals. It's one of it's a little piece of software that runs obviously automatically because I didn't turn it on. So try not to use lots of capitals and anything else for that matter. Gabriel, or the word, yeah, that's going to get you banned, buddy. Now Ismat or Ismay, I think it's Ismay, isn't it? Zahara, Ismay. Right, is it Ismay or Ismat? Because I keep calling you Ismat, and I think it. I was thinking the other day that it's probably Ismay. Anyway, everybody, thank you for coming in, and this should get me. Come on, everyone, get up and dance. Do the old dad dance. Thank you. Thanks, Amy. Got my internet stopped my internet from working just the other day. Bit of fun. I am going to finish this here. If you have any thoughts, how do I get rid of that thing? So Raggy's back on stage. Raggy's always, if you haven't checked out Raggy's channel, by the way, I'll get Michelle to put a link in this video to Raggy. He's one of my favourite ukulele guitar players and just general ramblers. Raggy is fantastic to listen to. He's got a great sense of humour. Ribbit, ribbit. All right, so I think I've probably got that off my chest. I'll review it at some point in the next few weeks, but I'm probably going to be honest, and I'm probably going to shoot myself straight in the foot. So anyway, love to you all, be good, and I will see you. Have we got any questions you need to answer there, Michelle?
I think so. I can see. I'm going to grip and...
I will see you all later. Be good. Take care.